How's it going, Sam? Still snowing and blowing there. I have a little rocky spot here on this end. Still storming, huh? It's actually not too bad here today. All right. Yeah, I don't know either. Unless it's just how you set up your YouTube channel, maybe. I don't know. So this field yesterday, it rained while I was out here. I mean, it was so muddy I couldn't even get any traction with the tractor eventually. So I quit. Come out here this morning, and it's just as dry now as it was when I first started yesterday. That's how much the wind dried the field out yesterday. It's actually probably a little bit drier than it was when I started yesterday, before the rain. It's insane. I really hate the wind. It's just a breeze here today, so hopefully it stops for you. But they clocked just up a few miles east of us in the canyon. They had a 107 mile an hour wind gust. Yeah, I've never seen the wind like that before since we've lived here. We had one day where it was like 80-mile-an-hour gusts, but it was short-lived. Yeah, that's a first for me. I have never done tractor work in December. A little bit in November before, but never in December. How's it going, Henry? Yeah, we had some rain and some really high winds here yesterday, but today it's just breezy. But they showed about 107-mile-an-hour gust east of us a few miles yesterday. I've got to hammer a pin back in, so I'll be right back. Sun's starting to poke through. Oh, got my setting a little too slow. When it hits a hard spot, it raises up a little bit, but it raised up a little too far there. So this field was potatoes this year, and it's got a few hard spots in it from the trucks driving back and forth, so I was hoping I could get to this field before it got too froze up. But I should finish it because I only have just what's to the left of us there. A couple hours. But I do have one other field I'd like to get done if I have the right kind of weather to do so. So we'll see. Hopefully get that moved there tonight. Yeah, it's doing pretty good. Other than the hard spots from where the trucks have been driving. It's getting better though. So you have any big plans for during Christmas and New Year's? Stop blowing in Winnipeg. We don't have a whole lot going on, but my daughter and her husband will come down during Christmas, spend a couple days. Well, where does your sister live? Is it very far? Going, Pamela. Thanks for the likes and the subscribes. Parents went to Texas. Do they go there in the winter time normally? A few rocks on this end of the field. Oh, they have a house there. Nice. I thought that's what you'd said once before, but couldn't remember where. 3 hours from anything. I was thinking I want a house on the beach in South Carolina after going there, but looking at the prices, I'm not sure about that. So why'd they choose Texas? Just because it's a little warmer? Oh, I see. You've seen all the water you've needed to see. Yeah, it's probably like living here all the time versus somebody that hasn't been here. The beach would probably get old after a while. Yeah, there's a lot of people here that go to Arizona too. A lot of the older guys anyway. And then there's a lot of Canadians that drive through headed to Arizona. You're from Montana, nice. We're in the Townsend area, if you know where that's at. Probably not a whole lot going on there from now till March then, I guess, right? On the farm anyway. Eureka area, oh nice. Get a bunch of wind there yesterday. An 8RT 340 John Deere. probably put in his time for unloading bins, right? Which I still have 2 bins a week to get rid of one of these days. He'd rather monitor. I don't blame him. Yeah, that one looks a lot better when you can see the whole thing. It's got the top covered up right now. It actually has a, like out of the trees, there's an outline that looks like a skeleton head. I've had a few pictures on a few of the videos with it, but it looks like a skull or an alien. In the Richland area. No animals. We're mostly seed potatoes and grain. That's why we do a lot of ripping and heavier tillage, is because of the potatoes. Usually rip a field that's going out of grain into potatoes, and then we usually rip the potato fields that are going into grain. So usually about 800 acres a year we rip. How about you? You have any cattle? It's false. Typical weather statement, right? It's like our weather yesterday. It's showing 20-mile-an-hour winds on my phone app, and my wife's, it was showing like 70 mile an hour. So didn't know which one to believe until it came. Oh, nice. So where's Richland at? Yeah, our power went out for about an hour last night because of the wind. But then there were some areas here that were out most of the day as well. And there was a semi about 4 o'clock that blew over on the highway here. Not your typical. It's the most efficient. How's it going, Tim? Just woke up. Ah, 340. Posted a video. I'll have to check it out later. How's it going in Germany? Whoa, a little bumpy here, sorry. Get your back in the phone holder here. By West Fork and Butte Creek. Okay. Yeah, I'd heard of Eureka. Haven't been there before, but hadn't heard of Richland before. Yeah, it's not. It's supposed to start getting cold again, but normally this time of year we're froze out and can't get in the field, but this year I'm taking advantage of it. But this valley, we don't get a lot of snow anyway. A few inches usually, but it does get cold. Western side of Montana. I'll have to look on a map later on. We're over by Helena, between Helena and Three Forks. For Eureka. Dang. They said though in north of us the wind was blowing like 70 mile an hour. I don't know what the temperature is supposed to be, but the feel like was like 7 below zero just from the wind. Northeastern side, I got you. That's where I was kind of thinking. We are just, some call it subsoiling, we just call it ripping, but we're getting rid of the compaction in this field from having potatoes in it. So every 40 feet or so there's a truck track that ran 180 degrees from what we're doing. So if we don't pull that out, then next spring when we plant the grain and it comes up, you can see where the trucks had driven in the field. So that's why we go through and do this. And kind of tick the no-tillers off. I think it damages the organisms. Right, playing in the dirt. That's what I like best. I never grew out of it. This is a little more aggressive than a chisel plow. This will go down about 20 inches. This they call an inline ripper or a V ripper, which that's what this one is. This one's a V ripper. An inline ripper's just straight. At least that's my guess. I've never ran one. That's doing a pretty good job. Appreciate it. Because the ground's not froze up yet, and I haven't had it done yet this year. So we try to do all that we can in the fall so it mellows out during the winter with the freezing and thawing process. We had some rain here yesterday, which it got so muddy in this field that I couldn't pull the ripper, but with all the wind, it's drier now than it was yesterday morning when I started before the rain. Just crazy. We're in Montana. So usually the ground's frozen so hard you can't get in it. Most we ever get's about a foot here. It either melts or blows away. This valley, it goes all around us. It doesn't usually hit us too hard as far as snow. But like, yeah, north and south of us get the snow, and then east and west of us, of course, but this valley doesn't. So we'll just plant some either barley or wheat into this field. That's our rotation. And then we'll plant potatoes in other fields. Yeah, there's quite a few potatoes here. It's all for seed potatoes though, so it doesn't go to the market like the fresh market or processing market. We're selling to other commercial farms. That was a little close to the fence there. Yeah, there's a lot of deer through here. Actually, just across the fence from us is the Fish and Game farm. So there's deer anyway, but since that's kind of a preserve, there's more there because just below that's the lake. That's why, I don't know if you noticed when I turned around, there was a deer stand right there on the fence line. This field's about 80 acres. Oh yeah, there's a lot of fish in it. They have a perch derby in the winter if the lake freezes over in time. There's a walleye tournament in the spring. And then there's a bunch of different species of fish in it. I don't know exactly what all is in it, but I know there's carp, of course. There's walleye, smallmouth bass, perch, northern pike. This field I started yesterday. Got rained out, so it'll take about 9 hours total. Got about an hour and a half left on it. It's a good field. It's just the soil could be a little bit lighter. This is a little heavier. But we use what we have available. We're around 1,400 this coming year. Yeah, but there's not really a market for corn here. Everybody here is either hay, grain, or potatoes. There's a little bit of silage corn, but most of it's just hay and grain. And then whatever potato guys are around. How's it going in Germany? Yes, it does keep busy. Especially from the end of October to the middle of February. I'm the only one on the farm, so the seasonal help goes home for the winter. So I usually do all the tillage and all the irrigating except for the wheel lines. Eventually we will, if we can get enough ground rented for a long term or buy some ground. Right now it just doesn't justify to own one because we don't know what ground we'll have, the next coming years. So it's cheaper to pay my friends to come out and harvest it for us than to actually make the payment on the combine. Saw seed potatoes in town the other day. A little early for that. Somebody's jumping the gun. Is it too early for what? Yeah, everything's pretty much Deere. All our tractors are John Deere. All my tillage is John Deere. Just the planting, like potato equipment's different. And then my friend that cuts grain for us, that's all John Deere. And then we have them plant grain for us too. And it's John Deere, so. And we're looking at getting a Lemken disc for next year, so we'll see what that's like. Because the disc I have is about worn out. How about you guys, Colin? What do you run for equipment? Because that's what I've been doing the last 10 years on it, is fix it up. It's about all fixed out. There's not much left to it to fix up. A lot of the parts are becoming obsolete on it. I got a wheel fall off because the spindle's worn out and the bearings were loose, and John Deere doesn't make that anymore for them. It was a truck full, huh? Was it headed through town? Or did somebody there buy some? Oh, nice. Some of the older equipment, which is, I like the older stuff. It's just that some of them aren't big enough to do what we need to anymore. It won't be any wider. It's actually 4 feet narrower, but it's a high-speed disc. Hopefully. So I don't know if the other tractor we have is big enough to run it. So this might be our primary tillage, which it already is pretty much. We don't have a moldboard plow here. It's kind of a thing of the past here. I kind of wish we did, but a few fields I think I'd pull up more rock than anything. Like this one. I ran, I believe it was a 210 white when I was younger, back just out of high school. That was a pretty cool old tractor. We do some rock picking in the spring. But usually we get them when we dig potatoes. They come in with the potatoes usually. We usually have a couple guys go through in the spring and pick out the big ones anyway. Because of the high wind, they had it closed pretty much a lot of Montana for trucks yesterday. Do those tractors, do they have a white engine in them, or are they like Cummins and Caterpillar? The one we had, it was a Caterpillar. Just wasn't sure if they stuck with that or changed them. I didn't know if White had their own engine too. I'm not too familiar with them other than running that one tractor. Oh, nice. Oh, I was just curious was all. I just know the one we had was a 3406, I believe, Cat. In the spring, we'll come back across it with a disc and a harrow, a roller harrow. But for the winter, we leave it rough like this, just in case we don't get any snow, and that way it kind of eliminates the dirt blowing. Other than it's fairly heavy, so it doesn't blow too bad anyway. Yeah, in the spring we'll just run the disc across it and then plant it. have two fields left, but I'll probably only get to one of them. So there's still about 180 acres left. But it's not the end of the world if I don't get to it. I really didn't think I was going to get to this one. Yeah, that's how I try to do everything a different angle from what we did the last pass from. So we disked this just to chew up the vines earlier this fall. And that angle was like, I think we were at 20 degrees on it. This one I'm at 270. And then when we disc for planting, we'll probably go like, I don't know, 20 degrees off of this, just to help smooth it out and fill in the holes. Yeah, it does. It gets pretty hard under irrigation, more than some people realize. A lot of them will tell you that cover crop and no-till is the answer, but it just depends on the areas. Here we don't have time to do a cover crop, and it's not feasible just to have a cover crop, so you got to have a crop in it to make any money. And then the ground is heavier, so when we drive all the trucks across it, it gets hard. So, and you can't no-till potatoes, so just the nature beast. Yeah, everything we farm is irrigated here, and the majority is all pivot irrigation, but we do have a few corners where there's wheel lines. So I take care of all the pivot irrigation, and then I have a couple guys that move the wheel lines. Unless they're stuck or broke down, then they help me with that, but I go around and monitor them all. especially with potatoes. There's no way we could get the crop, the quality we need with dry land. We wouldn't actually have a crop. But there are some areas that do dry land, like Canada. They have dry land potatoes. I think some of North Dakota's that way. We don't have any chicken farms even close to us to be able to do that. I don't even know where the closest one is at. Well, I guess the Hoots have some, I guess, but they're still an hour away from us. And I don't actually know what they do with their chicken waste anyway. Driving tractors, yeah, it's at least for most, once you've done it, it's hard to get away from it, or I don't know. I like it too. I've tried a few different jobs from farming, and I've always come back to farming. So how's it going, Jives? Yeah, we don't even have, we have one dairy close, but they put it all on their own ground. And then the rest are all ranches, so they don't even have manure usually. Yeah, we use dry fertilizer usually. We put some liquid on in season, but thanks, Jives. Smallest field is about 30 acres. This one behind us is now kind of a separated field just because they put a house between the pivot and it. So that one's 12 acres, but like a pivot, the smallest pivot ground we have is 30 acres. That's on its own. And then the biggest we have is 140 acres. I have one that's 300 acres, but it's split up in 3 different sections because it has a ditch running through it. So that's actually our biggest. Yeah, that's what most guys here do too with their beef cows. We'll plant grain, either barley or wheat, come spring. Just depends on the market. don't really have a market for rye here. We have to truck everything out of here. At least 2 good hours to an elevator. Is rye a good crop? I've never even been around it, other than the wild rye. I know that's hard to get rid of sometimes. How's it going, Felix? Yeah, most of the for hay around here is either orchard grass or alfalfa with a mix in it. Oh. Makes pretty good feed then. How's it going, Jill? Doing good. Just out here making the best of our weather. Normally we're frozen solid by now. I like haying. It's just for this operation we never had enough ground to do the haying with the grain and potatoes. we had about 4 miles up the canyon from our house. They clocked 107 mile an hour gust yesterday. We were showing 70 to 80 here. That's fishing game on the other side. They have between here and the lake. Yeah, we were without power about an hour last night, but I'm not complaining because that was very minimum compared to some. I don't know how many acres they have. I know they have a lot along the lake there. Some of it is farmable, but this part behind us, they just keep it for animal use. Too many, that's all I know. Yeah, they don't bother ours too much. They don't like potatoes, really. I mean, they'll come out in it once in a while. They usually come out after harvest and eat what is left in the field. And the grain, they typically stay out of it once it's ripe, unless they're just walking through. But the elk, however, they wreak havoc on everything when they come through. You're plowing with a Case IH. Yeah, we have a higher pH in ours. We're back in the bad cell service. Luckily, our valley right here, it's usually pretty good, but some places are pretty spotty. We do not plant fingerling potatoes, but ours are all, we have 2 varieties of reds and 4 varieties of russets. I have to have a whole different set of chains for fingerlings because they're so small. They fall through everything. The varieties we have, they're all pretty decent. They're not too bad. Getting closer to the rocky edge of the field now. Some of them are just a pain because we only have like 10 acres of them. That would depend on how much, Felix. Yeah, we use a John Deere air drill. First, I'd have to keep it a secret from the landlord, Felix. A 9 foot. That would take me a while. I used to, in Idaho, when I lived there, we had a 14-foot drill. That took a while too. Yeah, right, Felix? Yeah, me too. You no-till all your crops. We use a no-till drill, but everything's tilled. Yeah, there's a few spots here close where they used to mine a lot of gold. I keep hoping it'll come down in one of the creeks, but I haven't found anything yet. Yeah, just up the canyon from us, so I don't know how many miles. Probably 10, 15 miles. They call it Confederate. There used to be 25,000 people there at one time, back in the late 1800s. After the Civil War, a lot of the Confederate soldiers come out here trying to find some gold to start back up the war, is what I've heard. It is a family farm, but they've only been here about 11 years. They bought this one. But the family I work for, they're out of Idaho. But it's all family down there. So I'm the only one up here usually. So it's a lot like I own it, but not quite. Yeah, there's another place out here on this mountain range out that direction that they used to call Diamond City. There's actually a lot of gold that was taken out of this area way back. Feels like it some days. But no, it's a great farm to work for. I've worked for some guys that it's literally feels like it's free most days because they expect so many hours, but for the hours I put in here, it's pretty comparable to wage. We'd love to own some here, but it's just getting to be too expensive, and we're not like family here, so we're the last ones to find out that it was for sale. Like when I get done with the field work here, it's pretty much not a whole lot going on the rest of the winter. A few farm shows that I go to, but other than that, until February, end of February, there's not much going on. I mean, I'd love to own the farm myself, but on the other hand, I still have a constant paycheck coming in when prices are in the tank. But I could also make more money on other years, but go to New York. Why you say that? It's cheaper? I know enough about milk cows to not get involved. There used to be a lot of dairies down where I grew up there in Idaho, so I've seen enough to know. Never a vacation then. See any RV by me? As far as like camping RVs, is that what you're asking? If yes, or if so, yes. There's tons of them out here in the summertime. There's a highway just on the other side of this field. There's one more field, and then the highway. That thing is just constant stream on Thursdays to Mondays. Boats and trailers. I don't even like moving equipment on that road from Thursday to Monday. Usually Sunday night. But there's places you go out there by the lake on the shoreline, and there's like 20 campers parked next to each other in a big group. Just too much traffic to move equipment. Nobody slows down, gets over anything. I get flipped off all the time. Right? They don't care though. We're just in the way of their weekend. And the highway's 70 mile an hour on a 2-lane, so, and it's not the widest. Yeah, there's a lot of that too, from Glacier to Bozeman and Helena and all of that going on. I need to buy some red tractors. So it's easier to see or what? Normally I'm done anyway, but it's because we went on vacation the end of October, and then I had a conference to go to the week after that, and then weather, and we picked up a few hundred more acres, so it just all kind of added up. I have about 180 about 230 acres more this coming year than last year. We went to South Carolina for a week, the Charleston area. Don't like red. Actually, I don't mind red. I just have always ran green. Just more familiar with it. But I do like the old boxcar Magnums. But yeah, they're all pretty good tractor, really. Just like driving a Ford or a Chevy or a Dodge. We're in Montana, Stephen. Right, paying for the name. Yep, they do have their own pros and cons. We like John Deere because of the IVT transmission, but I think every tractor manufacturer has something similar now. But it's a good transmission for digging potatoes. A little expensive to work on though. We have a 4640 John Deere. Then the next one's an 8400. And then we have a 7R210 and this 8RT 340, which those two are both 2023s. We got them in September of 23.